Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you happy, healthy, and safe as always. If you're new here, my name is Rhonda with Rhonda's Craft Frenzy. And if you're not new, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you so much. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like what you see. To all my people that have been following me, thank you so much. I love you all. Super excited to get into some more of my Christmas from now till the end of the year. So let's not talk anymore. I'll beat you to the craft table. For DIY number 1, I start out with a wire wagon wheel I found at Dollar Tree. I marked on every other spoke because it has more spokes than I liked, and then I cut each one that I marked off with wire cutters. Once they were cut off, I then took a piece of jute string and I wrapped it around the outside of the circle, just using hot glue here and there as I needed it to hold it in place. Once that part was done, I took skewers, I cut them to size, and then I hot glued them over the spokes that were still left on my piece. Then I took leftover pieces of white nautical rope that sometimes my Dollar Tree has in stock, and I wrapped that around about a third of the jute string. I used random pieces of pine that I had and pine cones to decorate it a little bit, and I just hot glued these all the way around only on the jute part because I wanted that white part to show. You could be done with it here if you'd like, but I had an idea to paint this pretty snowflake that I had. I think it came from Dollar Tree, but honestly it could have came from Dollar General. I'm not really sure. I painted it with antique wax, and I also used a piece of cardboard from the center of a ribbon, and I painted that in the same color with the antique wax. I set it aside to completely dry, and when that was done, I went over it with this white puffy paint that I found at Dollar Tree. And once it was dry, I hot glued my snowflake in the center and it was done. I hope you like it as much as I do. DIY number 2, I used a snowman head and 2 longer signs. I hot glued them together using different size craft sticks, and then I covered the back with craft paper and a glue stick. To add my head on the top of my sign, I used a combination of Elmer's wood glue with hot glue. Once it was put together and the glue was dry, I painted it roughly to make it look a little bit more weathered with plaster color chalk paint from Waverly. Next, I placed some lettering on it saying welcome. And I didn't show you in the video, but I also used some window clings that I have left over from last year in a snowflake shape. Then I laid a thick cover of Mod Podge over all of it to seal it in. The last thing I did was use a scarf from the Dollar Tree. I just glued it around the neck part. I added a little tiny pick, and it was done. I really like this one, and I hope you do too. For DIY number 3, I wanted to jump on that racetrack lantern wagon. So my interpretation, I took one piece of the track, cut it in half. I placed hot glue in each corner, and then I bent the track over in a crisscross manner. And hopefully you could just see what I'm doing here. Next, I used some of these sticker jewels just to give it a bit more texture. I just stuck it over the arc and around the base, and then I took it outside and spray painted it in a white color, which took 2 coats.
I had some basic knobs. They are wooden. I painted them white because this is what I would use for the top of my lantern. Once dry, I went over it with elephant color chalk paint and a dry brushing technique because it looked a little bit too clean and I wanted that rustic age look. Lastly, I used some greenery I had. I placed it on the inside of the arc using hot glue to hold it in place. I stuck a votive candle holder with, of course, a candle inside of that, and it was done. Super easy, and I think it's super pretty, and I hope it inspires you to do one of your own. I appreciate you spending your time here with me, and I hope you found some inspiration in my video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you saw something you like, hit that thumbs up button. Don't be shy with those comments. I hope to see you next time, and until then, keep those glue guns at the ready.